Hey guys, Rafael back here again with some interesting things. So we know now on TV and the media what they're saying about the uprise in COVID-19 cases and the states that are being hit the most. Well, we know Florida is being hit like crazy, and here we have an article from the New York Times. Florida's COVID cases up fivefold in 2 weeks. The numbers are scary. We're going to go through this article, and I'm going to reference it to another article and another video that we'll see. And we'll see how much shenanigans they're playing on our faces and our necks and our brains and on our lives, and how much they're controlling us through their narrative. A surge in coronavirus cases has prompted officials to prohibit alcohol sales in bars and close Miami beaches for the coming holiday. But will it be enough? Miami on Saturday. On Saturday, for the second straight day, Florida has crushed its record for the new coronavirus cases. Now, this is a guy out in Miami, and we're going to go through how he lives his life. We're going to see how silly this is. John Delgado has slept in a tent in his backyard for 57 nights and counting. As the inventory manager of FarmShare, an immense South Florida food bank, Mr. Delgado, 51, finds himself holding his breath under his face coverings as he speaks to many clients who come in without masks, for fear that coronavirus particles will seep through the fabric. Well, if you just have fabric on your face, anything's going to seep through, because fabric is just fabric. It doesn't stop, quote unquote, viruses from seeping through. So get a brain, Delgado. And we'll continue. Because he interacts with the public every day, Mr. Delgado sleeps outdoors to avoid contaminating his wife, aging mother-in-law, 3 sons, and grandson. At night, he sometimes peeks through the window to watch his wife sleep. What the hell? You sleep outside your house to avoid giving other people contact. Dude, there's a lot of things you need to research. You're sleeping outside for no reason. Viruses aren't spread from person to person. We've gone through this with terrain and exosome theory. Bro, get back in your house, man. By day, he does social distance yard work with his sons. How do you do yard work social distancing with people? How retarded is that? I want to sleep in my house, sleep in my bed, he said. I want to hug my wife, my children, grandson, and I want to go out to the community, not feeling like I'm the Walking Dead, where I'm to be attacked by a zombie. I want to live. Right now, I don't feel like I'm living. You're not living because you're following mainstream media propaganda. You're not living because you're living the life of a sheep. You're not living because you're living the life of, I need a nanny state to come and take care of me and tell me what to do. You're not living because you have your head so far up your behind that you don't know what's going down in this world. Now, as we can see, this is in Florida, right? And the cases are rising. Now, I'm going to switch to an article here that's now coming out of New York. Health Department investigating potential COVID-19 exposure at drive-in graduation ceremony in Westchester County. Let's watch the video.
An investigation underway in Westchester County, where there's a new cluster of cases that appears to be tied to a high school graduation. CBS 2's Nick Calloway reports from Chappaqua.
This fireworks show was the big surprise of the night at the drive-in graduation ceremony for Horace Greeley High School. A week later, another big surprise, the news that one female student who had just returned from Florida attended that event and a non-school related party later that night. She later tested positive for COVID-19. Since then, 4 more people who were at the graduation and had contact with the first student have also tested positive. Governor Andrew Cuomo says anyone who attended the graduation or the after party must self-quarantine until July 5th.
It was a gorgeous night. We were in the car most of the time.
Susan Marr was there with her family. For her, the quarantine order means closing her small business.
It really is kind of a big teaching moment for all of us to really sit down and think how our behavior is going to affect others.
Now let's think about that. She said they were mostly in their vehicles. So if everybody's in their vehicles, I'm very sure that social distancing, nobody's going contact to contact if everybody's staying in their vehicles. 2, it's getting a lot warmer here in New York City or in Westchester County, anywhere in New York. So the heat is going up. And we were told that heat suppresses, quote unquote, coronavirus and suppresses its lifespan and causes it to die faster. So, with that, I'm going to switch into this video. And here we'll go from the White House on how coronavirus lives through heat.
Within the conditions we've tested to date, the virus in droplets of saliva survives best in indoors and dry conditions. The virus does not survive as well in droplets of saliva, and that's important because a lot of testing being done is not necessarily being done, number one, with the COVID-19 virus, and number two, in saliva or respiratory fluids. And thirdly, the virus dies the quickest in the presence of direct sunlight under these conditions. And when you look at that chart, look at the aerosol as you breathe it. You put it in a room, 70 to 75 degrees, 20% humidity, low humidity. It lasts, the half-life is about an hour. But you get outside and it cuts down to a minute and a half. Very significant difference.
Family, did you hear that? When exposed to sunlight and heat, what happens with the coronavirus? We'll go back.
And it cuts down to a minute and a half. Very. Within the conditions we've tested to date, the virus in droplets of saliva survives best in indoors and dry conditions. The virus does not survive as well in droplets of saliva, and that's important because a lot of testing being done is not necessarily being done, number one, with the COVID-19 virus, and number two, in saliva or respiratory fluids. And thirdly, the virus dies the quickest in the presence of direct sunlight under these conditions. And when you look at that chart, look at the aerosol as you breathe it. You put it in a room, 70 to 75 degrees, 20% humidity, low humidity. It lasts, the half-life is about an hour. But you get outside and it cuts down to a minute and a half. Very significant difference.
So with the weather warming up and all these states that are hot states, Texas, Florida, Arizona, California, all these places rising in COVID cases, but the temperature is rising and everybody's outside. People. We got to start waking up to the nonsense that we're given. We need to start checking all information. Check my information. Don't listen to me. I'm just bringing you what they're telling us. And I'm giving you a logical sense that they're not giving you. So I ask you, question everything. Find out why now that it's summertime and we were told that coronavirus doesn't do well in heat and sunlight, cases are going up. Ask questions, family. Catch y'all on the flip side.
And if you are taught how to observe, you cease to observe.